Mr. Bansal, faculty members, colleagues in scope, and young and future leaders of the country who are students of MBA and other courses. Well, generally people say I'm very happy to be here, but I know how much happiness it requires after the heavy traffic that I faced during the long run, starting from Noida Sector 50 to this place. And I was cursing myself on the road that why I accepted this. But when I reached here, I saw that so many young leaders are sitting over here, and it is a management institute of repute. Then my all encounters on the road has been transformed into happiness. I'm very happy to be here with you. Well, I represent public sector enterprises. Scope is an apex body to pursue excellence in public sector enterprises. I don't know what impression you have got about public sector enterprises in India, but I will definitely tell very briefly, because of paucity of time, that public sector enterprises in India were born in 50s when we became independent, soon after independent, because we did not have any infrastructure of our own. The financial resource was meager, almost no financial resource. And the only thing which was available was the cheap labor force in the country and the agricultural labor and all that. So in the spirit of the Indian Constitution, it was decided to have a mixed economy sort of thing. Mixed economy means both private and public. And public sector, you may be knowing that it is owned by government of India. At least 50% equity has to be there by the government. The first phase, if you classify a public sector, the first phase was from say 50s to up to 90. And during that time, more emphasis was on the social factor than the profit sector. There was many employment there. So much so that 24 lakhs employees were recruited in public sector enterprises at that time. Obviously, productivity became a casualty at that time, and public sector faced a lot of criticism that they are lethargic people, they are inefficient people, they do not produce, and all that. But this was a formative stage. Came 1991, you opened to economy, it became liberal towards the participation of both private and public on not only within the country but outside, also global level. And you saw a tremendous boost to the productivity of public sector enterprises, so much so that within a period of 10 years, say 2001, 2002, you had a spurt of almost 350 times more profit public sector started earning. And the turnover also increased to almost 90 times. And the manpower also started reducing. Presently, the manpower is around 11 lakhs 20,000 instead of 24 lakhs, which public sector had in the beginning. Now, there are around 330 public sector enterprises in India, central public sector enterprises. And Government of India has invested 11 lakhs 20,000 crores on all the public sector enterprises. So if you evaluate the performance of public sector, just a glance will tell you that how best they have performed. On 11.2 lakhs, their turnover is presently around 20 lakhs crore. Right? And their return on this investment of 11.25 lakhs is such that every year they are earning around 1,15,000 net profit. Besides, they are contributing 3,86,000 towards government exchequer in terms of taxes, duty, dividend, etc. And in last 10 years, if you say the performance, then it must be more than 30 lakhs crore, which public sector enterprises have contributed to government and stakeholders. So this has been unique with public sector enterprises. Confidence of a stakeholder is very high because once you go for the equity dilution, then we get the largest number of response, so much so that within 3 days' time, if you remember Coal India Limited issue, within 3 days' time, it was oversubscribed 15 times. And that was the case in case of ONGC, GAIL and others. So that shows that yes, there is confidence of stakeholders in public sector enterprises. This is in a nutshell because it will take a long time, but I will briefly touch as how public sector enterprises are being governed now. What is the governance norm and how far they are going ahead for imparting best practices in corporate governance. As you know, all the corporates are run through, particularly those who are limited companies, through a board structure. And board is the central body. On one side is the owner, whether it is public or private. If it is public, then government is the owner. One side is government, and the other side it is the management. So 3 wings. And board level is responsible for corporate governance. And the board structure in India is like that there are 3 players, distinct players in governance area. One is the functional directors, those who come from within the organization through a selection process. Public Enterprises Selection Board is there, independent body to select directors and chairman of the company. And then there is independent director to give independent judgment and transparent judgment and ethical judgment. There are independent directors who do not come from within the organization, but they come from outside the organization. So they come with independent idea. And their prime responsibility is that they will not allow corruption, they will allow only transparency, they will allow ethics, and they do not have their own agenda, supposed to have their own agenda. And the third partner is the government nominee. So 3 wings of the public sector boards are there. By and large, it is similar in private corporates also, except that government nominees are not there. Independent directors are there as per SEBI regulation. Their functional directors are there, and the selection is not through PESB, but it is the owner's prerogative to select. Now, what is the status of governance in India? What is happening that functional director, when they are on the board, they consider that they are technically most competent. They are the last word on technical sides. Be it project, be it technical, be it HR, be it finance. But they are supposed to be the last word when they sit on the board, because they have headed a department in respective area. And once they join the board, the inertia is carried again. They still think that they are head of the department. Here lies some problem. Am I clear to you people? बोलो मैंने हम तो पढ़ रहा है ना, क्योंकि I have rarely addressed this type of gathering, very few. So the technical director will think that I am the last word. He forgets that the moment they sit on the board of the company, their role is completely changed. There is a paradigm shift. Shifting is that they have to see the vision for the company. They have to come out with a strategy and its execution monitoring too. So this becomes the prime responsibility. They do not remain only finance. They do not remain only HR. They do not remain only project, but they have to look for entire public sector enterprise. Now, independent directors. Independent directors are people with very good experience in their respective fields, and they come in the board meeting and suggest the best way. Government nominee directors are also sitting as a joint secretary or regional secretary in the respective administrative ministry, and they come, they see both the ends, how government agenda will be pursued, because government has another agenda. Government has social agenda, and government also has political agenda. Since they are civil servants, so they pursue this. So it is a typical combination of all these three. But I am telling that all the three wings have some gap. One is with the employees of the company, another is the vision of the company, and the strategy of the company also. So they have to assimilate with the governance side of the company and also for the excellence. And therefore, capacity building and training is very essential to update them to the best skill which is prevailing not only within this country but also outside the country. So this is the most needed, most wanted thing in the board of the public sector enterprises. Now, governance, corporate governance is the real yardstick for evaluating the performance of a company, not only within this country but outside also. Therefore, a research is going on as to what is the best practice for imparting corporate governance. Say, corporate governance is nothing but governance. All of you know governance, how to govern, and corporate is corporations are governance. How you govern your corporation. So this is it. But corporate governance itself stands on 4 pillars. 4 pillars are transparency. 4 pillars are accountability. 4 pillars are responsiveness and integrity. And various countries have brought regulations to ensure that company is transparent. In India, we have Transparency Act. People have been empowered to question you that how you arrived at this decision. You have to reply to them, and therefore this has cleansed the system. On accountability check, corruption check, there is a multi and heterogeneous system to check the corruption. This does not mean that corruption नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, corruption तो हो ही जाता है, लेकिन there is a way to find out that who is the culprit, be it CVC, be it CBI, be it CCI, or CBU and all that, CAG and all that. So this part. Third part is how you are responsive to your stakeholder, how much time you are taking, how much trust you have built up with your stakeholders, and how much ethical you are to when you are talking to them. Trust, when I say trust, means that your stakeholders, if you find that you are not to that extent trustworthy, then you have a problem. And if you are not imparting the best practices in corporate governance, your days are limited. They say that you will die like a dinosaur. No trace will be found of corporate. So therefore, corporate governance worldwide has become very important. Now, another trend which is being witnessed worldwide after recession in 2008, there was a recession in United States. It originated from US, traversed to European Union, and traveled all the countries we are in, big problem because investment came to almost nil and all the corporates were showing negative growth except Indian public sector enterprises which still had positive rate to the extent of 3.7%. The trend is that our state-owned enterprises, which is public sector we call in India, must have a consolidation of sovereign holding. Government must consolidate its holding in public sector enterprises because government sector is having twin objectives. One is economic development and another is equally important is the social development. Both are important. And therefore, this model of public sector who has been considered as the best model for development of economy. You may remember that during entire recession period, private sectors must have issued large many pink slips, retrenchment and all that. In public sector, not a single pink slip was issued. Investment also went on. Not that we kept our investment aside. We went on doing the investment. So far, if you have any question, tell me. Otherwise, हमको लगता है कि हम ऐसे ही बोले जा रहे हैं, आप लोग देखते जा रहे हैं हमारे और, लेकिन बोलो कुछ. Is public sector banks are? No, they are definitely asset. But with time, there has been a lot of bad dealing, and it happens. So we can't deny that there was bad dealing, corrupt dealing in public sector enterprises, and good that now we have come to know where is the problem. So as an MBA student, I will tell you, don't try to develop any criticism. Criticism to your friend, criticism to your teachers, criticism to anybody on the earth. ये आदत सबसे खराब है and negative quality of a leader. Because you are going to have, so try to praise everybody. Like Lee Kuan का नाम सुना? Anybody? I'm sorry. Lee Kuan was the first Prime Minister of Singapore when it was separated from Indonesia and Malaysia. He told that nobody is my enemy. I only deal sometimes with the stupidity of my friend. Still, he considered him as a friend, but he tells that I deal with the stupidity of my friends. So don't try to develop the criticism of the system or anybody. So that develops a bad personality. Have you ever seen Amitabh Bachchan criticizing anybody? To the best of his rivals, well, सबकी प्रशंसा करते हैं. And you know what his position is having in his own field. So therefore, if you are going to be a leader, develop a habit of praising everybody of your friends, faculty, anybody, everybody. So that will give you a very good personality development. बैंक ठीक है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि बैंक को बंद कर दीजिए, हमें व्यवस्था करिए. ICICI बैंक में भी प्रॉब्लम हो गया, सब में प्रॉब्लम हो गया. डज नॉट मीन कि बैंक बंद कर दीजिए, बैंक को बनाइए. एनीवे हम और कोई क्वेश्चन? हाँ, independent?
The pink slip and the yellow slip concept.
Pink slip. Pink slip means जब retrench करते हैं प्राइवेट सेक्टर में, तो पिंक कागज पर लिख के दे देता है, you are not required, so your services are terminated. That is called pink slip. और
So, as you said that there are 330 public enterprises, so I want to know that how many enterprises are really turned around and which are they?
yes, I'll tell you. Out of 330 public sector enterprises, there is a categorization of Maharatna, Navratna, Mini Ratna B, and rest. So far as Maharatna are concerned, Navratna are concerned, Mini Ratna are concerned, They are all profit making, and in number about 84. This now remaining are large. Many of them are profit making operationally. Hardly 30-35 are such who are not profit making, who have who have been turned financially challenged. We do not say sick on it, but we say that a financially strained company because of various reasons, like HMT, it is gone. ITI, it is on the verge of closure. Scooter India Limited, it is almost closed. ITI, and all that. And the basic reason, prime reason was that they did not change with the time. HMT और जनता वाच चला, जनता वाच स्टेटस सिंबल था उस समय. ग्रेजुअली इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वॉच वाले में एंटर नहीं किए, एंड नाउ HMT is gone. Nobody takes a watch where you have to scream in every morning. So change did not, and also they are not totally responsible for that. That they might have gone to government for clearance of investment. Had the investment been cleared, they could have been same as now how Titan changed, how much all other watches changed, telephone industry changed, digitalization came, all that. That was the reason. So it is not true that all the public sector are profit making, but there are problems, and they are less numbers, 30 to 35. Any question on that?
So what if in a board meeting the government people do not agree with the suggestions or decisions taken by the board members or directors?
No, board decisions are unanimous decisions. It is discussed within the board meeting, and there is very healthy traditions. They will come out with their problems and issues that if you are doing this, and the board explains that. So it is a consensus and unanimous decisions, because this government nominee, if they are sitting on the board, they have to also sit in the ministry. It goes to them as a board approved policy. All that are there. Not that they are there to as a bottleneck. It is not like that. Nobody here. Feel free. The perception of business itself.
Sir, is government monopoly required, especially with respect to sector as railways and coal, looking at their poor state?
With time, there is no monopoly. Railway, yes, government is totally, it is with government. Maybe that after some time or time to come, you will see another picture. But you say 100% participation by foreigners in oil and gas now. Insurance company has been opened. So all that are opening. So government is not a bottleneck.
Especially on coal sector, because we are importing.
Coal sector, because of the holding, say almost 87% stake is by Coal India Limited. It is from beginning, and which was in the private hands. Coal is a very highly sensitive energy source, because it is linked to your sovereignty, right? Like the defense and all that. But it is also being opened, not the private, because Jindals, Vedanta, and all that had their own captive mines. It was given to Ambani's and all that. But not the way you told that it is total monopoly, but it is almost mixed.
It's not like other countries.
Other?
We have restrictions. It's not open as such, like US. They have to.
US is totally a promoter of private. Yes, so should not compare with US. But other countries like Nigeria and similar African countries where coal is abundant, government has control.
What is the problem with the
What is the
coal sector?
what is the
Problem.
problem? There is no problem. The coal, there is no problem at all, because coal produced by Coal India Limited is around 450 million metric ton, which is meeting almost 80 to 90% of the energy requirement in power plants and so many fuel requirements. So there is no problem at all. Problem is the manpower, to be very frank. It is almost 1 lakh employees who are working in Coal India Limited, which is a real problem. And they came from early stage.
Then my question is, what composes corporate governance? What composes corporate governance?
Corporate governance?
What composes?
Yes, पूछिए हमको.
What composes corporate governance?
What?
What composes corporate governance?
Corporate governance.
What are the components of corporate governance?
What are the components? I told you now there are 4 basic components of corporate governance, rather 4 pillars on which corporate governance is located, locus standi, like transparency. It has to be a transparent organization. It has to be corruption-free, integrity. It has to be highly responsive. And there should be a system to check the accountability. These are the 4. But if you go for micro analysis of corporate governance, so many things have come up now. Like for example, corporate governance is not only meant for giving higher profit only. Stakeholders are looking for something more than profit. And that is called corporate social responsibility. How much upliftment you are doing for community, the deprived class, the social sector. And that has become very important because every stakeholder knows that profit number which corporates are reflecting in the annual account numbers are because of their jugglery of accounting system. They know best how to reflect both. They will conceal the liability and inflate the profit. Stakeholders are knowing. So they are looking for something intangible, like how much ethical you are, how much service you are doing for the society, how much you are doing for risk management, how much you are doing for risk assurance, how much you are prepared to face the change which is taking place in the corporate world. All that proactive actions, whether you are taking it. So that makes the image of the company. Otherwise, if you are not making that, your days are numbered. So this is the corporate governance. Like for example, you have how many stakeholders? Broadly, your stakeholder. How much government is confident that yes, because of being government sector, public sector, how much government is assured that this company is doing an ethical practice, this company is doing very good for profit making, this company is also making very good for the social sector. Confidence of the government. Then comes employee. Employee will feel how much they are motivated, how much motivation you have brought to employees. Like for example, I will tell, these days I know that when you will join your companies, respective companies, whatever company is that, you are not going to be loyal to the company. It looks very bad to hear. You are not, but this is the reality. Not like us, not like the days when Mr. Bansal was there. That we are loyal to the company like we are saying that is just like mother. Today, if at all you are loyal as a youngster, you are loyal to professionalization. How much better skill you are getting in the company, how much recognition you are getting, how much job satisfaction you are getting. All that has become very essential, and your loyalty is transformed into this. And this is a challenge to corporates, company, that yes, my employee will remain with us only when I recognize his good work. They will remain with us when we see that their packages are, of course, very good. They will be retained when their professionalization is improving day by day, and they can compete, they can join anywhere. So these criteria will decide the loyalty. And I will quote one example how owners are treating the employees. There is a company called Intuit. Intuit is a software company based in US, and it is among the first top 10, seventh or sixth position, something like that. And they suddenly jumped from 40 to sixth position. And it became a revolution sort of thing. What is there in Intuit that it has come to sixth position? So I had chance to listen to interview on TV, the American TV, and the anchor went on asking. Last he asked that what is this special you do that it has brought from 40 to 6? And his reply was stunning. He told, I do nothing. I don't do anything for the company. But I do everything for my employee. They in turn do everything for the company. So there comes motivation to employee. If the owner is telling that all achievements are because of my employee, then motivation starts. Because it was Edmund Burke का नाम सुना है? He was a philosopher, economist, minister of exchequer in UK, and must have written about 10, 12 books. He tells that motivation is something which you cannot buy. In his own words, you can buy 8 hours duty. You can buy some muscle power also, but you cannot buy motivation. Motivation requires different approach. So motivation, employees. Sorry. Then comes society at large. If they are happy, yes, your corporate governance is very good. If you are protecting the environment, you are very good. So you have a recognition and all that. Now coming to leadership, I will just take 4 or 5 minutes now, because you are going to be future leaders, and as a MBA student, you have your responsibility is very big. One is that you will be subjected to very hard work. Not that it is not an ordinary course that 4 or 5 hours study will do. You have to work very hard. And leaders emerge only when they do extra work, more than others. Then they emerge. And then what is the quality of a leader? Can anyone tell? What is the quality of a leader? Bolo, feel free. Empathy, yes, empathy is one. Empathy, huh? Understanding others, yes. Communication, yes. Team management, yes. Innovations, yes. Cooperation with the employee, yes. It's all. Yes. Don't say bolo. Yes, better. Yes. Yes. Cultivate more leaders below him. Yes, this is very good idea. Yes, interest of the team. Recognizing the needs of the team and promoting that, yes. Yes, very good. Yes. Good listener, yes. So did you listen what I told? Because I am going to ask questions. Good. No, broadly you have come out with the traits of leadership. But one unique thing and one common thing which comes to everybody is that he has to be a role model. And role model will have all this idea which he must have all this quality. Say for example, if you name Mahatma Gandhi, he was a role model for truth and non-violence. John F. Kennedy, he told as early as late 50s and early 60s that leaders have to do proactive things to bring newness, and that is linked to a change management also. Martin Luther King, the famous speech that I have a dream, thinking very big thing. Then came the Bhagavad Gita, lust, ego, greediness, all are held door to the thing. So we must not have all these vices. Chanakya, this nobody told about this quality. Chanakya told as early as 300 some BC, 325 BC, that self-respect, khuddari, swabhiman, this is the best quality of a leader. He says that तजेद एकम कुलम स्वार्थी, कुल के स्वार्थ के लिए अपने को त्याग कर दीजिए. ग्रामस्तस्य कुलस्त्यागे, और कुल का त्याग ग्राम के लिए कर दीजिए, विलेज के लिए. अपने विलेज मीन्स प्रोविंस में जो. एंड फाइनली ही लर्न्स दैट स्वाभिमान को अपने रखने के लिए यू कैन सेक्रीफाइस एंटायर वर्ल्ड, पृथ्वी तजीद, स्वाभिमान को ही करने के लिए. तो खुद आप देखते होंगे जो लीडर्स थे जो हुए हैं, जिनका नाम याद आता है, ये सब जो लीडर होते हैं उनका तो पन्ना से गुल हो जाएगा हिस्ट्री में. ऑल दिस लीडर विच वी टॉक इन डे इन डे आउट, दे विल डाई आउट विद टाइम. लेकिन जिनको याद है, जिनको हम याद करते हैं, दे वेर द लीडर्स. लाइक सोक्रेट्स. सोक्रेट्स का पीरियड भी 300 से पहले, 345 BC और समथिंग लाइक दैट, अलेक्जेंडर के समय, सिकंदर के समय. He told that a lion leading the donkey, lion as a leader, lion leading the donkeys will always win the race of compared to donkey leading the lions. This is what he told at that time. And he was such a person that जब सिकंदर चलता था ना, तो रोड के बगल में सब लोग सो जाते थे हाथ जोड़ के, कोई आदमी खड़ा नहीं होता था ग्रीस में. So when he was coming to India for further, he went through the road. Suddenly he found that one person is sitting on a wooden chair and looking like this. He did not move a single inch. As Sikandar went further, and then he returned, who is that person who is not budging a single inch? Even if I am going, he came back and asked, who are you? You did not pay respect to me. For a moment he did not listen to him, it appeared, and then told, इधर से हट जाइए, उधर से धूप आ रही है हमको, धूप आ रही है, so I have, that is more important for me. And Sikandar bowed his hand and told that I am going to India to win the country. So do you need anything from there? He told that you bring a copy of Bhagavad Gita. They were the real leaders and role model. Now, you see, I quoted Lee Kuan. Lee Kuan was a leader. When he joined, it was a very bad shape. The country was in very bad shape. So many yojanas, so many policies and all that were there. He told that no more policy, only there will be a policy of corporate governance. And the aim is to manage the things. That is governance of policy. So no other policy. And he was bold enough to say that you have to build your houses on the stones thrown at you. So critics have to beware that leaders do not care for bad criticism. They take Sir, I will go on like this. I think I have exceeded the time, and I only wish you all the best in imparting your MBA course in this institute. Consider everything as yours, and पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा 18 घंटा हम प्रॉमिस पढ़ना पड़ेगा MBA में बहुत मेहनत लगता है. And yes, I will tell you, in not only your course, a leader has to know everything on earth, not only your organizing, planning and all that which you read, communicating, but you have to know everything on earth, whether it is film, whether it is industry, whether it is practical things. And Churchill, Churchill once told that the future leaders will be the owners of knowledge. जिनके पास knowledge होगा वही leader होंगे. So be prepared for that. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.